Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is SubZeroExtabyte and I am shooting right back at you with another video today. Now of course we all know that sometimes we get annoyed in this game, right? And I am not a subject to change on this matter because I am annoyed like all the time. Or at least I get annoyed all the time. Well, today is the day that I snapped. I am just done with it right now. Again and again I keep having these noobs finding out where I live and it is just driving me nuts. Now I have already tried training the noobs in order to make them respect me and know a thing or two about the game. Now that did not work at all, because that literally just blew up in my face. Then I have gone the complete other way around and I just started planting traps everywhere, which again just ended up blowing up in my face, taking my house with them. Then I give the training another shot, which did not work at all. And then after that everything got pretty calm again. But then people started stealing and destroying my homes and I started building all kinds of houses. Some in the water, some in a well. I mean, it is a big mess right now. Now I really do not want people to know where the next house is going to be. And as you know, if you do not know where something is, then you cannot get to it and you cannot take anything out of said thing. Now that kind of worked, but that only solved one problem. And do not get me wrong, it did actually solve the problem with people stealing stuff out of my chest, but it did not solve the problem where people were still coming into my house every other freaking day. So today I am going to be combining these two ideas of mine. One is the hiding part, and two is the house part. So since hiding the chests of mine worked out well, I have decided to go out and make my house the same way. I am just going to be building a house that is not like any other house, just so that I can make sure that I do not end up getting swatted and stuff like that ever again. Not that I have ever been swatted, but that was just metaphorically. Now we cannot just hide a house. We have to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be gone, like you cannot see it. So up into the skies we go. So we will have to make it blend in well. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside the freaking sky, people? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done. But that is not something that I want to do right now. So I am just praying to the gods that this will actually work in one go and that I can finally have a good night of sleep again, because the last time that I did not have an interrupted sleep is like months ago. I mean, since these guys found out that they could just storm into my realm, they just literally started taking full advantage of it, and I hate it. I mean, how annoying is it when you get woken up every day at like 3 o'clock in the morning just because some noob is bashing at your door? I can honestly tell you that this is not a very fun and exciting thing to be doing, but I guess that I will just have to go through with this right now, because otherwise I will definitely never have another good night of sleep. I mean, come on. It just feels like every day is getting worse right now. I mean, I already do not get enough sleep, and you should be getting enough sleep in order for your brains to be working properly. And right now I am thinking of a way to get all of this over with, and I am on just a couple of hours of sleep, and that is just not something that will work for me right now. I mean, it is the harsh truth at this point, but it is just something that I will have to cope with until everything right here has all been sorted out. And I can tell you that when the day comes, I am going to be celebrating so hard that it actually is pretty insane to myself. I mean, I am going to be excited like crazy once I am all done with this thing. And you know, maybe I will start building more kinds of these shelters all across the whole world of Minecraft, at least if it is in the sky, so that when people actually find me, that I can just move within the minute and just am able to escape all of that in one go. I could even take a plane. That is pretty cool, right? At least I feel like this is kind of cool. But then again, I think that I have been losing my mojo on what is cool and what is not. But that might just be me right now. I mean, I will be trying until the day that I am done. But right now I am not done yet, so I will keep on trying right now. That is like the best thing a man can do right now. And that is help the other people around him. And I am not even kidding around right now. There is a lot of honest work in the healthcare sector, but I am not going to be talking about that because we have got to be talking about those darn noobs and what to do about that, because I am kind of running out of options right here. I mean, come on guys, what more can I actually do? I mean, there is not that much more that I can do. If they, and by they I mean the noobs, were to find out where the hidden location of my super secret sky house is, well then I would be out of options. I mean, I would have just ended up exhausting all of my options and I would have got nowhere to go. So please, if you are a smart thinker in the comments, then please let me know some stuff that I could be doing right here in case all of this goes south as well, because I might not be able to handle all of that again. I mean, I have gotten kind of grown old to the feeling of letdown and stuff, but still it is not a nice feeling when you think that you have been doing a good job at something, but then once you start doing something it like backfires at once, and that will always feel bad no matter what there is to happen to it. So I am just going to be hoping that this high altitude approach to my house actually works, otherwise, like I just said, I am going to be a dead man. Okay, maybe not a dead man because it is not like the noobs are that violent, but I am just going to be making sure that once I get this done that I am going to go right back to bed for like a week, because right now I actually am kind of a dead man when it comes to this. I mean, there is no such thing as getting too much sleep for me right now, because right now it just feels like I am not even doing anything anymore. All day long I am just roaming around my house and stuff without a thought, and I am just so tired that I have got no idea what to go do. But then when I think that I might be able to go to bed, and the second that my head hits my pillowcase, there is another person at my door and I have got to get up again to be able to defend the fort. I mean, there is not worse feeling than this. And you might be like, well sub, you are overreacting. Well, I might be overreacting, but I just cannot stand this anymore. It just feels like I am getting crowded in my mind and I cannot handle it for one single bit right now. So once I am done with all of this, I am just going to check out for how long I can sleep in one sitting. And I am betting that it will be a very long time before I actually get back to being in an awake state. So you could kind of say that once I am done with sleeping, I am woke again, and that would be making me a woke person. That is like insane. But right now my sleep-deprived self is starting to get into something right here. Maybe building a house like this is not the best thing to do. I mean, right now I am just throwing everything on defense, but we all know that offense is the best defense. So maybe I should just be getting smart on the ways of the noob and make sure that I am able to get behind them knowledge-wise. I will have to figure out exactly what those people do and how they operate in a non-hostile environment before it gets hostile, of course, because they always get hostile no matter what we do about something like that anyway. So I am just going to make sure that I am completely read up on all of their noob strategies and their language and all of that stuff. So take some milk, sit down, and kids, get ready to learn. And the topic of today's learning with SubZeroExtabyte will consist out of some really cool footage of me building houses and destroying blocks while I try to get as smart as humanly possible on the noob kind, which is going to be very tricky. At least that is one of my first guesses right now. So apparently the first thing to learn is that the word noob is taken from the word newbie, which is spelled N-E-W-B-I-E. So that might not be as interesting as I thought that it would be, but at least it will kind of keep you heading into the right direction overall. Now, noob is a slang term for a novice or a newcomer, or somebody inexperienced in any profession or activity. So that means that a noob is someone who is new to the game, but that is something that we already figured out on our own and we do not need Wikipedia for that. But it goes on with the following sentence. Contemporary use can particularly refer to a beginner or new user of computers, often concerning internet activity, such as online gaming. So you are a noob when you are new to an online game. I mean, they could have just formulated that a lot shorter, but for some odd reason they decided to leave it that long. I mean, I am not complaining, but something is telling me that they could have done that way shorter back there. So basically my first option was not that stupid, and that was to just go ahead and teach all of those noobs how this game works. I mean, that sounds pretty decent, right? Well, wrong, because no matter how much you teach them, they will always manage to find a way where they can just slack and they will still end up blowing up your house. But that is not something that I want to talk about right now, because that might be bringing me back into tears again. Now let me tell you this, that I am not going to be trying the forceful way again, because that also did not work for me for one bit at all. But that is just a flow though that I am trying to hop like a freaking train right now. But of course there is more to a noob than just the stupid word noob. Now it may not look like something with with high-tech security right now, but once I am done with all of the building and construction, then you will be able to see that no one thief will be able to storm into my house and steal stuff. That is just how good I am at this, and that is just something that I like to do. I like to prove people wrong, and that is just the thing that I am going to be doing around here. Now let me quote you this from a book called Walden, written by Henry David Thoreau, and he says, and I quote, "If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them." So I feel like I have always been the one that was building castles in the air. Now need it be that I did that around here in Minecraft or Roblox or just in my head, that does not really matter. The essence of this quote is the fact that he says that you need to put the foundations underneath those air castles, and that will make sure that they become a reality. So the foundations are the hard work that one were to put in when doing something like that. Now I will be the one who is going to put the foundations underneath of my castles in the air. And I mean, this little castle of mine is literally in the air. So that is cool. I am going to make sure that no one can mess around with the SubZeroExtabyte the Great anymore, and they will all regret every crossing me. Now let's close this up with this fine keypad right here and choose ourselves a little nice color for the home, because I want something that matches the blue of the water, which will be looking totes amazing when we are done, and you will not get enough of it. And would you look at that, we did it, boys. This is stage 1 of my super awesome security project that is like going to be super awesome. I mean, I would not think that it would be anything less than awesome, just because, you know, I mean, come on people, take a look at me and you would see that I am just here to rule the world. I mean, I am not here to rule the world, just ignore the fact that I even said that, but I am here to rule over anyone who is trying to break the rules. I am a rule enforcer, as you would say, and I like my rules to not be broken. Alright, so guys, please forgive me right now for what I am doing with this house, because I literally have no idea what I am doing right now. This is just some on the fly thinking right here, because I literally have no idea how to use most of this. So if you have any sort of tips and tricks for me, well, it will always be welcome, of course. But right now I do not really have enough time to go look for some tutorials, because I do not want to end up as another reject. This is going to be hard, but it is just something that I will have to cope with until everything right here has all been sorted out. And I can tell you that when the day comes, I am going to be celebrating so hard that it actually is pretty insane to myself. I mean, I am going to be excited like crazy once I am all done with this thing, like usual, because I am not someone who likes working that much in the hot sun right now, because I just want to lounge and be tanning or something like that. But that might be me. I enjoy being outside though, and so should you, to be honest. Now we cannot just hide a house or something. We have to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be blended in really well within the environment, in this case being the sky. So we will have to make it blend in well. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside of a cloud, right? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I usually have, but you know, I just want to be proud of what I create. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the noob problem, kind of, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing, but let's just hope that the sky thing that I just built is actually going to be a success, because otherwise I will actually have to turn to my last resort, which would be the space station base. I mean, it would be kind of cool to do so for a video, I guess, but then again, I really do not want to go down that path, and I really do not want to turn to my last resort so quickly, because I just feel like there is too much counting on that. So let me just get everything straight right here. And if that is all okay, then I think that we are all done for today, and we can actually go on and start doing some actual decorating and stuff. But I will not be bothering you guys all too much with that stuff, because I know that going to IKEA and stuff can be rather boring to show on video. But I guess that this is where I am going to end the video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video again, and I am hoping that you will all be good and do not come look for my sky house, because I really do not want to go to Mars to build a house there, even though, like I just said, it would be really cool, but it is just not something that is going to make it in my budget and stuff, because that is going to be expensive. But I will see you guys in the next video. See you later, you guys.